United States Naval Academy, sun setting in the capital city of Maryland, home of the Naptown National Lacrosse Challenge, and it's the headliner, the 2020 championship game. SweetLax National out of upstate New York and Florida, a combined national team taking on Team 91Crush from Long Island. Let's see how these two teams got to this championship game. Team 91Crush taking care of Project Midwest in the semifinals earlier today, while SweetLax beat Thunder LB3 National 10-5 also earlier today. Welcome back into the broadcast booth. Evan Washburn alongside Quinn Kestick. We've been with you all afternoon and evening, and it's all been building to this. We're looking at the future of some top 10 programs in terms of verbal commits in this game.
Yeah, these are rising seniors right now, and many of them have given verbal commitments to colleges. 30-plus Division I verbal commitments in this game, and it starts really with Team 91. This is a team that is stacked with high-level talent. Jack Scherzer's a top 20 player. He's headed to the University of Maryland. Brett Martin is a midfielder that Johns Hopkins will benefit from, and then Xavier Arline is undecided. For SweetLax, watching warm-ups, we were really caught our eye was Eric Dobson, the midfielder, big kid from Florida. There he is, 6'3", 6'4",
if not bigger,
with a right-handed rip that reminded us of a Brian Costabile or a Sergio Perkovic. So sit back and enjoy it. We got 30 D1 commits, and the others are being evaluated as we speak.
Team 91Crush, an established brand in the club lacrosse world. SweetLax, as I mentioned, a national team, but it's really made up of upstate and Florida prospects. It's our face-off brought to you by Lexus, and it goes to SweetLax. Chris Arceri wins that face-off for SweetLax. You might recognize that name. His brother playing for Penn State this season.
Gerard had a nice year, his sophomore campaign. I think the Big Ten next year is stacked with some good Fogos.
Chris is headed to UPenn in the Ivy League. There's 19. Eric Dobson from Fleming Island. These Florida prospects from that Jacksonville and Ponte Vedra Beach area, which has really emerged as a lacrosse hotbed in recent years. They can't connect on that pass, but the ball stays in bounds. A quick look side and finish. It's Chris Parlett, one of those Ponte Vedra natives, headed to Notre Dame in the fall. Our first goal of this one.
Casey McDermott picks up the assist on the end line right here with this grounder. The ability to get by his man, then his eyes are up. McDermott's headed to Hopkins with a verbal. Carter Parlett, midfielder, has given Notre Dame a verbal. Those two teams met in the NCAA first round this year out in South Bend, Hopkins and Notre Dame.
So SweetLax takes the early lead. They win another face-off. Keep that ball away from Team 91Crush. Joey Spallina and company. Probably a good plan.
Amazing the difference between this 2020, the rising seniors, with the group we just watched, the 2021s.
A lot happens in a couple of years.
It's just amazing the subtle differences from year to year. Body, the skills, the understanding of the team schemes.
This is Casey McDermott. Dodge into the middle of the field.
That was Scherzer, 4 and white. Maybe the highest rated defender in this game. Lefty, headed to Maryland, 4 and white.
SweetLax trying to penetrate that defense. No shot clock here, 2018 college rules. Running clock. Andrew Dalton here, inverting behind. He's headed to Cornell. Guarded by
on hands, Tommy. Just stay on his hands, Tommy.
Number of Team 91 defenders.
Chris, switch off that, Chris. Switch off that, Chris.
Back up to McDermott. Patrick McIntosh up top.
Body. Monster, monster. Yeah, Jack. Yeah, Jack. Yeah.
Pass up top tipped. And the other way. Big hit in front there. Crush is able to keep it.
Drop.
Christian Muley has it for a second.
Well, talk to each other, Blue. Talk to each other, Blue.
This is Andrew McAdory.
Stay on him.
Drawing a double.
All right, get back.
Tell you, this group has played together for a long
Yeah,
time.
chemistry is on point.
This Team 91 group won the inaugural World Series of Youth Lacrosse out in Denver. Brendan O'Neill, a part of this group.
And a shot and a goal. Team 91 answers. Andrew McAdory puts it in for Team 91 Crush.
St. Anthony's Fryer, right-hand wing. Looked like Tyler, couldn't tell if that was Cords or Stewart, picks up the assist, but just a nice right-handed rip. Velocity from about 9 yards. As I was saying, this group has played together for a long time under the coach, Joe Spallina. His son is on this team, Joey Spallina, playing up 2 levels. Brendan O'Neill in the past has played for this group. They've had a dominant club career.
Joey Spallina was part of that 2022 team that won earlier today. Pulling double duty here. SweetLax is coached by Kevin Martin.
Interesting dynamic, Evan, when you got what, Rochester, New York guys mixed with Florida?
Yeah, it's not something you'd think, but SweetLax is a program that was started in that upstate central New York area. But a couple of their program directors moved down to Florida and started things up there, and that place is really blossoming. This is Ryan Levy.
Look away.
He's headed to UNC in the fall, or at least verbally committed to UNC. They will sign their letters of intent. Joey Spallina looks up top for Levy. Defended by Ortega, and Levy stings a corner.
Wow, this is something else. Levy, whose dad played at Carolina, his mom is the head women's coach for the Tar Heels. Watch this, right? Comes back left-handed now, and listen, bing! I mean, that placement is unstoppable. That's the shot as a goal you're kind of giving the guy, saying, you know, you want to put this offside shoulder, offside hip, you're probably going to score, but man, that's such a beautiful shot.
Connor O'Neill in net for SweetLax. He's actually a 2021 graduate, so he's playing up a year, and he's facing a really talented offense in this Team 91 Crush. Nice ground ball play by Arceri off the face-off X. He's been really strong to start this game. Get close to 5:30 to play. It's Cam Hay along with Dylan Hess. This is that Florida midfield line. 3 middies out of the state of Florida. Hess, Dobson, and Parlett for SweetLax National. Aiden Denenza defending. Parlett gets inside, wants to get to his right. Ball is down, defense collapses on Parlett, but they can't clear it. One more, that shot's deflected in front.
Tight. Rotate, hands.
Ball moving quickly, skip passes in front.
Loose. Come on, Davis.
Ball on the turf.
Run.
Davis Smith comes up with it. Contested ground ball, but he's under duress.
Play.
No flag despite a hands all over his back. No, flag is down. Effort through the roof early in this game. Ball is down. Nice takeaway check, but it'll stay with SweetLax as a flag is down.
Shirts are 4 and white, gets that ball on the carpet to end the play. The verbal to
White, number
Maryland.
12, hold, 30.
I get it.
Brett Martin, 12 in white. Once again, we talked about this during the 2022 game where Team 91 was victorious. Nothing good happens riding with one hand on your stick, okay? The tendency to hold with your free hand, you get sloppy, a poor precision on your checks. Gentlemen, if you're watching, please ride with 2 hands and check hard to forearms, wrists, and hands.
Andrew Dalton takes some big checks from this Team 91 defense, sticking the passing lane by Schertzer. Ball is loose. Who's going to come up with it? 2 men battling. It looks like it's off of SweetLax, so it'll go to Team 91 here.
Interesting in club ball versus, you know, school with teams and daily practice. Great team schemes, whether it's clearing, riding, extra man, team defense. Club ball is a little more individual, okay? You're gonna see less multiple pass goals. But for college evaluators, it's good because there's so many talented players on the field. You get to see if Evan Washburn can stand up athletically at this level.
There's no doubt there are a lot of athletes on this field. Officials take a brief timeout as the clock continues to run. It's a running clock, so we're under 3 minutes to play here. This is Brett Martin, headed to Hopkins, or is committed to Hopkins. Plays it back for Joey Spallina.
Spallina's game will change playing up 2 levels. Okay, he's a rising sophomore playing against rising seniors. Put up more than 100 points on the island this year. Great year, Suffolk County for a freshman. But he's got to be a little more finesse-oriented playing against bigger kids right now.
Andrew McAdory just putting a shoulder in it. He has a first goal and now a second goal in this game.
McAdory not committed, the rising senior. St. Anthony's, you see the black helmet, dealing with the shorty, able to free up his hands top side, no double team comes. You know, right there, you got to go defensively. When he brings it back to his right hand, he's a major threat. You got to make him a passer. And in doing so, Andrew gets himself to a strong angle, being coached up by Coach Joe Spallina, head coach of the Stony Brook women's program. Busy man, Joe Spallina. Was he still GM of the
He is always at a lacrosse game.
New York Lizards?
SweetLax wins another face-off. Kobe Ginder at the X for Team 91. He's a talented face-off man himself, headed to Princeton in the fall. SweetLax has had most of the possession time in this first half, but they find themselves down 3-1. These 2 teams met last year, lost in overtime, did SweetLax at a tournament up at Lehigh, have not played since. Team 91 is, as Quint mentioned, an established program that has won a lot of tournaments.
See what Dobson's got. Notre Dame verbal.
Wants to get to his left.
And who's playing without the ball now on offense? Everybody's standing around against this zone defense. You had to know what's coming. Team 91 always plays some zone regardless of the level.
Patrick McIntosh takes it, looks inside, but it's a poor pass that's picked up by Jason Ting.
These guys in white, man, Team 91, they got the talent. But they also coach it up pretty good. Whether it's Brian Spallina, Sal Cassio, Joe Spallina, the mixing of defenses at the club level can be paralyzing for offense.
Under 10 to play in this first quarter. Can SweetLax get one on the board late? Here's the big man, Dobson, rumbling down the field. 1 second. That shot won't even get on cage. So SweetLax had the ball most of that first quarter, but on the scoreboard, it's all Team 91. They take a 2-goal lead into the second quarter. It's the championship game of our class of 2020, rising seniors. Tons of D1 talent on the field. McAdory with 2 in this one. Second quarter coming up.
Mom and Dad got a new car with the extra 3rd row seats. They think it's theirs. Look at them, they have no idea. It's not theirs, it's mine. Mine, mine.
The new RX 350L with 3 rows for 7 passengers.
Are you excited about your baby sister coming?
Experience space for the unexpected with the Lexus RXL, part of the RX family. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
The 2019 Naptown National Challenge is brought to you by Atlantic Tractor and by Visit Annapolis. Whether you're looking for food and fun, history and art, or a way to spend the day out on the water, there's no better place to turn than Annapolis. Come visit a town where colonial charm meets modern convenience and where something unexpected awaits around each brick corner. Experience the gem of the Chesapeake. Plan your trip today at visitannapolis.org. Second quarter action underway. Face-offs all SweetLax in that first quarter, but Team 91 wins this one.
Well done.
This ground
Open.
ball play
Open
by
rockets
Kobe
for
Ginder,
seven.
the face-off
Open
man for
rockets
Team
for
91. He's
seven.
headed to Princeton, going up against Arceri, Chris Arceri for SweetLax.
Follow, Joey, follow.
McAdory with the ball now. He has 2 goals for Team 91. He scored 3 straight after an early 1-0 lead for SweetLax.
Through. Quicker.
Joey Spallina settles behind. He's being defended by Lou Adams.
Nice feet. That's good feet on defense.
Go, let's go, Chris. Come on. Yes, yes.
Christian Moulet
Go, hammer.
trying to get back to his left. Slide comes quick.
Good. Good. Good job, Chris.
Arceri thinks
Go
about it,
back, go.
pulls
Right
it
away.
back
Get
out.
Get it. You got through if you want it.
Denenza with it now. Shots
Behind
just
you.
wide.
He's about to give it to them. You guys throw that through. He's hung. Christian. Right here.
Christian Moulet with it. Defense
Yes.
and slide comes quick. Hands-free opportunity for Team 91.
Go.
The shots saved with ease by Connor O'Neill.
I like the defense on the far side for SweetLax.
We take a shot in transition. Everything's been deflected in front. Tingay has not need to make many saves.
He's out. He's out.
Looks like he's out of bounds, but no whistle on the field. So Tingay with it now.
Come on, Petty.
Netminder for Team 91.
2 hits.
Looks like a turnover, but Brett Martin there for the ground ball.
Keep going.
Midi headed to Hopkins,
Good,
verbally
good job,
committed
Brett.
to the Blue Jays.
Value.
Just that
Ryan Levy settles.
burst. That burst catches your eye in the open field. It's interesting. You don't see college evaluators going to lacrosse events with stopwatches.
Can't teach speed as Joey Spallina settles
You know,
things here.
it's interesting. I'm reading a book called Gene Sport, recommended by Lars Tiffany. I finished it, actually. They talk about, speed is hard to improve.
Joey dive,
And
Joey
when
dive,
college
Joey
cross
dive.
athletes go to college, they prove their strength a ton. They don't work on their speed.
Yes.
McAdory Not much he needs to improve. 3 goals, and that might be the prettiest of them yet.
He's a top 20 high school player in this class offensively. Be interesting to see where he ends up. That's a hat trick, right-handed. Works off the pick, able to switch the matchup, and that we've seen that same release. Watch how he follows through. He ends up with one hand on his stick, but he's found that far offside corner. Great first half for Andrew McAdory. As I said earlier, he'll be one of the top 20 type attackmen in the country.
What would keep a player at this point in the recruiting process to remain uncommitted?
Well, I mean, I don't blame him. I mean,
Here we go, here we go.
coaching changes, offers. Did he get full, 3/4, halves? Academics.
Pull him down here, Dylan. One more.
These players have been recruited since September 1st of their junior year. Now, some of these guys were recruited prior to the new recruiting rules, but everything has readjusted. Tingay makes his best save of the game.
It's nice little tic-tac-toe passing. And again, these are verbals. There's about 30 Division I verbals in this game.
Nothing official, still have to sign that letter of
Yeah,
intent,
and
and things do change.
There's the potential to flip, to be
Bring it back,
poached.
bring it back. Bring it back.
There's a lot of
away,
that
good.
late recruiting going
Bring it back,
on where
pop
coaches
for
are
me.
recruiting right
Get
through
up top,
verbals,
grab your
like in
short.
college football and basketball, like they don't exist.
Aiden Denenza with it now. He's verbal to Duke University. Brett Martin talked about him and his speed. Showing it here, matched up with Marcelo Ortega
Good. Play with him, Brett.
for SweetLax. He's a Hopkins commit, so Hopkins on Hopkins. 21 in blue. Spallina getting physical. Another pick near goal line extended. Spallina gets his hands free, but O'Neal gets a body on it. Back out to Denenza.
Go for it. Good. Look.
Long possession here for Team 91.
Denenza's a Duke verbal.
Back up. Yeah.
A bouncer gets past O'Neal, so Denenza puts it in, and the scoring continues for Team 91.
You see why Denenza is a high-level D1 ACC type midi. I mean, the height, the burst. He's a midi that can play behind the net. I thought there were 2 little instances on this possession. I mean, you look at him run. He's able to create angles and brush off that defensive friction and free up his hands. Nice frame to put on some pounds and some strength, and that speed's not going anywhere. Denenza to Duke, verbaled right now. Danowski gets richer.
Yeah.
Transition off the face-off for SweetLax. It's Arceri, who's having a really strong game.
Parting of the Red Sea. He's had a strong first half.
Turf got him, but not before he could put that in the back of the net. Chris Arceri, dominant at the X, going head-to-head with Kobe Ginder. These two will have some face-off battles in the Ivy League in the years to come. Ginder's headed to Princeton.
Help, help. Go help him.
Apparently, Andrew McAdory for Team 91 is reclassified to a 2021.
That would
according to
explain
our,
things.
Our friend Mark Dixon.
Appreciate Dixon chiming in. Dialed into the club scene, actually stepped in for you last year. Survived this marathon of a day.
Right back. Going down here, Dobby. Stay high. Let's go.
This is that Florida midfield line of Dobson, Hess, who's headed to Georgetown, and McDermott. Parlett, excuse me.
You get a shorty at this level. You got to take him with authority, with conviction. Don't dance into him.
That's all right. It's okay.
Dodge like you expect success with confidence.
Patrick McIntosh with the behind. This is Casey McDermott looking inside, able to hold on to it is Andrew Dalton. 3 SweetLax players near this ground ball, but it looks like it's going to be a Team 91 defender
Good play.
Nicholas Kakamo is going to come away with it, not before SweetLax and Dobson has it back. They have really kept this big body midfielder in check.
Okay, he's got a short here, Evan. You got to clear out. Now you let him switch the matchup.
Lets it go. That's off the pipe. Finally gets his hands free, does Dobson.
A little too much slapping by the defender. Get under that glove and lift.
3:40 to play in this second quarter. It's the 2020 championship game at the Naptown National Challenge. Most of these guys are rising seniors, as we've mentioned. A few are playing up. But a lot of top tier, top 10 college commits
more than
on
30.
the field.
Yeah, more than 30. Little cross section of Division I, high-end kids. But it'd be interesting to see with the recent coaching changes.
This is Nicholas Lacalzi. He's actually verbally committed to Navy, so could be playing on this field in short order. Christian Millet gets a shot transition. Team 91 will stay with it here with 3 minutes to play. They've got a 5-2 lead, one on a 5-goal run after going down 1-0 to start this game. McAdory with it.
Get in there.
Millet just misses wide.
Bingo him, Joey, bingo him.
Balls at X on the backside to Millet. Teamwork.
That's exactly right, Evan. I mean, we've talked about the ability to score for restarts and set plays today. Out of bounds plays, like stealing candy from a baby. This is another example of elite coaching, okay? 91 switching from man to zone on defense. They win that end. This is off the restart. You got a single pick behind. You've got multiple guys inside. One cuts the near post, the other flashes to the back post, okay? Execution and the attention to details in the coaching. That's why Team 91 is such a successful club franchise.
Ginder starting to win a couple face-offs here to allow Team 91Crush to play some make-it-take-it lacrosse.
Open rockets.
McAdory with it now.
Open rockets, too deep.
You hear Joe Spallina calling out plays. I mean, that's how advances is open rocket, open rocket. So you're thinking defensively set play. You're thinking something's going on off the ball here that I need to be aware of.
Blake
Take your time.
Brock
Take your
Berman
time. Value.
getting his first run. He's part of that 2022 class, so he's playing
That's
up
right,
a couple.
and he's an attackman with that group. If you watched earlier, he wore number 21 with that group. He's an attackman. He looks like a different player, doesn't he? Doesn't he look like a different player amongst this group?
Yeah, he looks smaller.
I thought he was the second best player on that Team
Yeah,
91.
a really strong championship
rising
game.
sophomore in
Joey,
high
play
school.
with him.
Now he's inverting
No
behind
block.
against a
No block.
rising senior. Playing up.
No force.
Surveys,
Patience
surveys.
is poise, young man. Good.
That's fine. It's good defense. Nothing's there.
Joey, play
What
behind
college
him.
evaluators want to see
Give it
is
to him.
Decision making.
decision, right.
Go, Brock,
Go
keep going.
hard, whether it's a dodge or feed or move the ball. Don't dilly-dally and waste our time.
Berman
Forward.
Okay, give it a
backing
shot.
down. Gets a shot off. It's wide. Hits the official. Out of bounds. Gonna stay in.
Yeah, good hustle by Levy. Gets there first, and real estate has its privileges. You feel
Spallina loses it behind.
you feel the push, and big Ophi defensemen like yourself will run you down, and you fall on the turf.
Andrew, get down.
Lou Adams, that big defenseman, just backing down behind the back shot from Spallina's off the mark.
Spallina, as we said earlier, he's also a 2022. He's playing up 2 levels in this game.
A shot and a save by O'Neal. And that'll do it for the end of the first half of this 2020 championship game at the Naptown National Challenge. A lot of Team 91 in this one. SweetLax hanging around.
Ryan Levy headed to North Carolina. Impressive goal. Andrew McAdory, he's got 3. Aiden Denenza, verbal to Duke with a gorgeous right-handed midi goal.
Halftime coming up.
The unknown beyond the horizon. that was once our frontier. But today, a new frontier has risen, and this is the vehicle crafted to conquer it. Introducing the first of its kind Lexus UX and UX F Sport, also available in hybrid all-wheel drive. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
Morning, noon, or night, there's always a moment to discover. Visit Annapolis to create your moment.
Welcome back. Halftime here in Annapolis. It's the Naptown National Challenge, and we're here with the founder of Hogan Lax and one of the founders of this Naptown National Challenge, Matt Hogan. And first of all, this has been a challenging week with the weather and the amount of teams and what you guys have brought for these teams and for these players. How would you best describe getting to what is now the finish line?
It's fantastic to be where we are right now. And this is what we play for, is to be in this championship setting. So Monday was a real challenge for us. We thought the people, the participants, handled it really well, responded really well. We've made some significant adjustments to the schedule. But right now, the best teams are playing today at 91Crush Stadium.
When the week started, you had a seating dinner, so to speak, a seating party. Tell the fans at home about what that was like.
So we've always had a seating party here at 91Crush Stadium. We changed it this year to do it down at City Dock, and it went over better than we expected. So we had Lito's Pizza as a sponsor for that event. So we had a monster 8-foot by 12-foot screen down there. We had vendors, we had pizza, water. We had about 200 players down there and families. And we revealed all the seedings for all the brackets, for all the divisions for the whole week, for today.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was cool.
When we look back at the last few years, Q and I have had a front row seat to how this event has grown. Where have you seen the greatest growth, and what have you been most proud of, what you and your staff have been able to build here as we approach year 4 and 5?
Well, one of the things that thank you. I think it is a good event. We've been told it's a great event. One of the things that we are really appreciative of and shows that it's a good event is by having partners like Lexus, Lito's Pizza, Visit Annapolis, and Atlantic Tractor, and Lexus being our title sponsor. Some of that influence and that popularity in the world to want to be involved in our event, I think speaks volumes about what we do. So I think what we do best is we run a very organized event, that we communicate with our teams, and I think that right now what makes this a tournament people want to come to is the quality of the teams in the tournament.
High quality. You also got high instruction at the showcase this year. You had Charlie Toomey, Dave Petramala, 140 kids showed up. You coached in college, and you've also coached in high school. What is that showcase like? What's the benefit for the athlete?
We couldn't have been more happy with what happened there this year. And we sort of ran the Hogan Lax and the Bayhawks were in the back end of it, and Coach Petramala and Charlie Toomey really ran the event. Once the kids got in the field and stretched, I was sort of doing some administrative things. All of a sudden, I got like shivers because I could hear those guys coaching like college, you know, it brought back memories. And it was really pretty that turn. I'm going, these kids are getting coached. And they made it very clear, Coach Toomey and Coach Petramala made it very clear, we're going to coach you like we coach our kids. We want you to understand what being coached at college is like. And the biggest jump everyone has to make from one level to the next is not skills so much, it's effort. And how hard you have to play, how hard you have to practice, and how demanding coaches are of you. And I think those players got a real good first-hand experience of what it's like to be coached by college coaches.
Yeah, that's
they coached.
That's an added value of this event.
Unbelievable opportunity for these players. And Matt, we couldn't be more pleased to see how this thing's grown, and we're happy to be here every year. And I guess we'll see you here next year, hopefully.
We look forward to it, and you guys do a fantastic job. Thanks for what you guys do.
Matt Hogan, founder of Hogan Lax and part of the start of this Naptown National Challenge. We'll have more from halftime here in Annapolis, stats and highlights coming up after the break. The 2019 Naptown National Challenge is brought to you by Lexus and the Lexus RX and RXL with distinctive styling, refined craftsmanship, and innovative technology. Experience amazing. Visit your Annapolis Lexus dealer. By Hogan Lax and by Lido Pizza. Lido Pizza is a proud supporter of youth lacrosse. Deliciously square pizza with a hand-rolled flaky crust. Lido Pizza is square because Lido Pizza never cuts corners. Visit LidoPizza.com for locations and menu since 1955. The Naptown Showcase, now an annual event to show off your talents to college coaches, coordinated by head coaches Dave Petramala of Johns Hopkins and Charlie Toomey of Loyola University. You can sign up for next year's Naptown Showcase. Visit naptownchallenge.com for more information.
Is that open to athletes our age? Because like if I went to that showcase and then I could play in Vail for the 50 and overs, I think
Masters?
I think I'd be back.
Well, it sounds like it was a 6-hour marathon of a practice, so you might not make it through.
College level.
These are our Visit Annapolis first half highlights. SweetLax got on the board early, but then it was all Team 91.
Carter Parlett with the little head and shoulder fake. McAdory had 3 in the first half. Ryan Levy, this left-handed ping from 14 yards while running across the middle. He's heading to North Carolina. McAdory, as Mark Dixon told us via text, has reclassified as a 2021. So he's actually playing up here, and that's why he has no verbal. And then Denenza, Aiden Denenza, Duke verbal. Shows his athletic ability, creating separation with the ISO goal.
Arceri off the face-off win. This was a critical goal for SweetLax. Their only goal of that second quarter made it 5-2. Then Christian Moulet with that backdoor finish. Our first half stats brought to you by the Chesapeake Bayhawks. The face-offs are really where SweetLax has held the advantage, really the only place they've held the advantage, 70% for Arceri.
Yeah, team 91, they're getting really good goaltending, okay? I was very impressed with Tinge, Jason, the goalie, UMBC verbal. They mixed their defenses man and zone. Schertzer, who's going to Maryland down low, 4 and white, really held his matchup, and their shorties did well. SweetLax, I think, has the ability to dodge from the midfield with some of their bigger guys like Dobson. But their spacing and off-ball movement has to be addressed. They're kind of like a stationary target on offense.
Speaking of the Chesapeake Bayhawks, planned for July 20th, as Bayhawks will battle the New York Lizards at 7 p.m. right here at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium for their Chesapeake celebration. Make sure you arrive early at 4:30 p.m. for the new Lexus tailgate featuring a photo booth, live music, games, and free Bud Light for season ticket holders or ticket holders 21 years and older. Check out the bayhawks.com/tickets to purchase your ticket to the best action right in your own backyard.
Lyle Thompson, number 4. Playing at a level right now that nobody on this planet can touch. It's awful fun to watch. It's a little bit of everything. Ground balls, the hustle, the riding, the passing, the scoring, his humble attitude, Evan. We talked to him after the game. He's got this purity, he's got this innocence, he's got this.
And he seems to have settled into what playing the field pro game is about. It's probably been challenging for him the last few years to have to balance the indoor game and coming in late, being banged up, and knowing that there's a lot of expectation for him. This year he's got a full palette of a season to play with, and he's really making an impact early.
He's a good mix with Steele Stanwyck. I think he's an excellent mix with Brendan Bomberry. And now that the Bayhawks move Colin Heacock, the Catonsville Comet, up to midfield, it'll be interesting.
McAdory here, 3 goals in that first half. Big part of why Team 91Crush has this 6-2 lead. Joe Splina, their head coach. This group, as Quinn has documented, has for the most part been together for a long time and has won a lot of tournaments, and it's a challenge. SweetLax, a program based out of upstate New York, but about 50% of this roster in this game from the state of Florida as well. That's why they're SweetLax National. Head coach Kevin Martin. These two teams played a year ago. The game went to overtime, but right now it feels like a bit of a scale tipping towards
Yes,
Team 91.
SweetLax has got to figure it out defensively. Offensively.
New netminder for SweetLax, Travis Wagner, headed to Lemoyne, or verbally committed to Lemoyne. And Arceri wins another faceoff. This is the 2020 championship game of the Naptown National Challenge. These are rising seniors.
Organize.
Most of them are committed to some top-tier Division I programs. Top midfield line, Christian Parlett. He had the first goal of this game, but has been quiet since. Moves it over to Dylan Hess, headed to Georgetown out of Ponte Vedra High, south of Jacksonville. They can't connect a tip pass, so this will stay with SweetLax if it heads out of bounds. Now they just win the ground ball. That's Casey McDermott behind.
Adjacent off-ball offense is what SweetLax has to clean up.
Good job, Brett.
If a guy
Go
comes
again.
at you, you got to
Go
cut
again,
through or
Brett.
fade,
Good.
especially against what looks to be his own defense right now.
Dobson, a lefty, finally gets a shot off. He's
Over
been
back
quiet.
left.
Over and back, so it'll head to McAdory and Team 91. He looks like he's ready to roll. McAdory, shot out of a rocket. Unbelievable burst for McAdory. Picks up his fourth.
This is eye-opening.
It's unfair.
This was eye-opening. I remember watching Andrew back in Denver in the World Series of Youth, the first year of the tournament 5 years ago. And while he hasn't been the Jolly Green Giant, I don't think you can question his flatline speed. Reminding me a little bit of a Michael Watson on that goal. So we've seen him take the ball strong right-handed to the paint, top side. We've seen him in the open field. He's playing an MVP caliber level right now. Definite D1 radar, and as we said earlier, a top 20 recruit, whether it be 2021 or 2020s.
He's reclassified, we were told, to 2021, so have another year to develop. But despite not being, to your point, the tallest guy, he's played with a lot of contact in this game. Doesn't seem to knock him off his mark.
That's fine.
And if you've got the beauty of this game, as we've touched on a number of times, is if you've got the skill set and speed, you don't have to be the biggest guy to be an impact player. We've seen that.
I mean, height is probably, look at all sports. Other than basketball, obviously, wingspan is more important than height, but height is an essential. But
it is.
That's the last qualifier. Can the guy play?
Dobson, another pipe. The big lefty committed to Notre Dame out of Fleming Island, Florida, trying to get on the board here.
What type of production? Whether it's ground balls, hidden ball tricks. Not fooling anybody tonight.
This is Jack Neal. Gets to his left, but he wants to be with his right.
Good job. Let's go. Win on
Defenders
that
know
shot.
that.
Win on that
Really
shot.
impressed with the feet of a lot of these Team 91 defenders. Staying low. Playing the pick game well. They roll off, though. That's a great look for Neal. Inside and a finish. Tic-tac-toe passing leads to Casey McDermott with the goal for SweetLax.
And a flag and one. This is the best goal that SweetLax has scored today. Okay, it's a multiple pass goal, and it shows you an understanding of offensive patterns. Double team drawn, move to the transitional player. Defense then down low has a 2-on-3, or maybe it was a 3 defenders covering 4 guys. So somebody's open. Good spacing allows that entry pass to the inside. The catch and shoot by McDermott. I liked everything about that.
And a great opportunity here for SweetLax because of that penalty after the goal. No face-off, and it's just 6-on-5 here for the team of upstaters and guys from Florida. Nice little mixture. SweetLax National taking on Team 91 Crush from Long Island.
It's like the flight every year.
Seems like an odd marriage, but I guess a lot of people from New York moved to Florida.
Watch
Casey McDermott with it up top. Scored the last goal. Skips it inside. Andrew Dalton there. He can't find any net to shoot for, though. Inside. This time it's Neal.
Good closeout defensively.
That SweetLax coaching staff looking on. They know this is a great opportunity to cut into this lead. A shot and a goal. Jack Neal. Excuse me, Dylan Hess with that finish.
Georgetown Hoyas. Coach Kevin Warren, you see some of the fans here. Skip passes, the key to any extra man. Carry, you make the defense honor you with the carry. It changes where they are and it creates that skip lane and just a gorgeous, I mean, that angle is just, yikes. Dylan Hess drops it down low and just paints a corner with liquid smoke.
Ponte Vedra High, a program that just burst onto the scene this year, nationally ranked, producing a number of Division I players. Arceri,
ooh,
fighting
gotta
at
be
the
something.
X. Don't see any flag on the carpet. Ground ball there by Kevin Sweeney. Contested grounder, physical play.
Look at Sweeney, athlete head to Brown, verbal.
This is McAdory. I could watch this kid play all day long. He's just got a burst.
A little Marcus Holman in his game,
yeah,
maybe.
I like that. I like that.
A little Michael Watson for the old schoolers.
Joey Spallina with a bouncer. We mentioned a change in net. Travis Wagner, the Lemoyne commit, steps in for SweetLax. Big body takes up a lot of the net. Aiden Denenza back there with Joey Spallina.
There you go.
Spallina keeps attacking. He's been held scoreless. He did a lot of damage in the 2022 championship game earlier today. Team 91 won that one. Trying to double dip here. Can't connect on the pass, but there's backup there from McAdory. I would just let him get a run.
You know, the only thing McAdory hasn't done today, let me see something with your left hand to check off all the boxes.
Heavy, heavy.
Spallina hits the turf. He's carried the ball a lot in this possession.
Goalie.
Shots wide.
Nobody's there.
You mentioned it. Look, it's part of the club ball, but it is a lot of isolation. There's not much team offense. Tyler Cords.
Just watch the adjacent offensive player is consistently in the way of the Dodger.
Martin pulls it out. It's a long possession for Team 91. Multiple shots here under 4 minutes in this third quarter.
Either set a pick or get out of your teammate's way, but not the in-between.
There's a lot more above the cage as Martin gets a run. I think of the college game, so much of the two-man game, inverting behind. Not as much of that.
I like the ball behind the goal. I felt at the high school level when I coached at Boys Latin for those dozen years. I mean, we had really good players behind the net, but man, I liked it when the ball was back there. Puts a lot of pressure on young defenders.
Yeah, make them communicate. Nice skip pass from Spallina.
And you turn it over back there, no big deal. You're not going to give up transition. You may be able to ride it back.
Millet sticks in between the legs. That should be a trip. Pass in front.
I like this goalie, Travis Wagner. He said he's headed verbal to Lemoyne. There he is. Reminds me a little bit of Chase Erlin, the freshman goalie at Cornell. Boog on his throw protector, big lefty. Fills it up, moves well. Without a doubt, he can play for Lemoyne.
It's been a nearly 3-minute possession, and it finally ends with a goal. Christian Millet has made a living on that backside pipe, and he gets his second of the game.
As the skill level of ball increases, defenders have to come to the realization that being on a guy is not good enough. We just talked about head on a swivel, stick in contact with the offensive player. You got to make a check there. Yeah, you got him covered, but again, when you're dealing with high-level players now, Canadians inside, I mean, you got to be
Covered there's a new definition.
Yeah, exactly.
But that was a nice snag for Muley.
Great catch with a guy in his face. Yeah, focus, willingness to get hit.
Ginder wins this one to himself. It's been a back and forth battle at the X between Ginder and Arceri. Got a whistle down on the field and a timeout by Team 91Crush.
If I'm Ginder, that's one where I go over, maybe after the game, I say, Coach, please don't bail me out. You know, you make me look bad as a Fogo when you bail me out with a timeout. Really, I would.
Team 91.
You know, I used to face off in 8th grade, Evan.
On the backs of
and
Christian.
If my coach ever called a timeout.
We're going to take a timeout. Quint's going to have to talk to us about it.
The unknown beyond the horizon. That was once our frontier. But today, a new frontier has risen. And this is the vehicle crafted to conquer it. Introducing the first of its kind Lexus UX and UX F-Sport. Also available in hybrid all-wheel drive. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
Morning, noon, or night, there's always a moment to discover. Visit Annapolis to create your moment.
They think it's theirs. Look at them. They have no idea. It's not theirs. It's mine. Mine. Mine.
The new RX 350L with 3 rows for 7 passengers.
Are you excited about your baby sister coming?
Experience space for the unexpected with the Lexus RXL, part of the RX family. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
Naptown National Challenge is expanding. There will be more teams and divisions next summer, expanding to the classes of 2027 from 2020. Visit naptownchallenge.com for more information. The tournament keeps getting bigger and bigger. Some of the top tier club programs in the country coming each summer here to Annapolis, Maryland, the Naptown National Challenge, and this is our top matchup, the 2020 SweetLax and Team 91Crush.
I got a 2027.
That's what you're working with?
You met her. That's a 2027.
Wow. Grace didn't want to hang for the full 8 hours.
It's all about the fan experience.
So Team 91 here.
Zone defense. They rotate. Again, I like to see the ball behind the goal. Spallina, Muley, McAdory, really high IQ, high skill players with good vision.
Hayden Denenza there in the middle of your screen. He is verbally committed to Duke. Took that last shot.
Hold. Here we go.
Look inside.
Oh, baby.
Nice save by the Lemoyne commit, Travis Wagner. That shot's deflected. Ends up in towards his stick. Official timeout here.
Cords a verbal to Navy. New head coach Joe Amplo. New staff John Orson.
Brad Ross,
their offensive coordinator, coming over from Ohio State.
7 seconds in this third quarter, by the way.
Ryan Wellner moving from Navy to become the defensive coordinator at Notre Dame. It'll be interesting. I think Loyola takes a step back next year in the Patriot League, Evan, with
It's
the
been a
loss
tough
of
offseason. You lose
Patrick
Pat Spencer and Chase Scanlon.
They bring back some healthy defenders, which is a plus, but you also lose Jake Stover, who I thought had a magnificent year.
Was he a first-team All-American?
Yeah, I think he shared it.
1 second here, and a chance off the pipe for SweetLax in the closing seconds of this third quarter in a championship game. Team 91 went into half up 4. They will head in to the fourth quarter up 4, thanks in large part to the play of Andrew McAdory with 4 goals in this game.
Reclassified as a 2021, he's put on a show. Right-handed wizardry, Andrew McAdory.
Take a look at all 4 of McAdory's finishes. What does he and Team 91 have in store for the fourth? We'll see after this. Sun setting in Annapolis, home of the Chesapeake Bayhawks, will be back at it on Saturday, July 20th at 7 p.m. right here at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium for their Chesapeake celebration game. The Bayhawks take on the New York Lizards as they look to end the first half of their season with a win before the All-Star break. Come early for the new Lexus tailgate featuring a photo booth, live music, games, and free Bud Light for ticket holders 21 years and older. Visit thebayhawks.com/tickets to purchase yours. Be there and be all in with the flock.
You know what I like this year? 7 o'clock starts as we take a look at this last play.
Very close to a goal here for SweetLax. Clock, he had time.
Oh, iron.
And it's off.
But a 7 o'clock start here in Annapolis. Pro games now are fast this year.
They are.
You could be downtown at a pub by 9:30.
As long as there's not a weather delay.
As long as there's not a weather delay. And Annapolis is a tremendous restaurant and pub city.
Box him out, Marcelo.
Arceri and Ginder matching up at that X. Ginder's been much better here in the second half. Face-offs in that third quarter were 50-50. It was 70% Arceri in the first half.
Come on, man.
Turnovers, SweetLax with 6 through 3 quarters. Team 91 just had so many shots, ground balls in SweetLax's favor, but a lot of those off the face-off wins for Arceri.
These rising seniors, man, they execute too. They're good off the ground.
This is McAdory. No one's been able to keep him in check. That's a great look on the doorstep for Cords.
Just improve your angle would be 1 point there. Go to the tangent of the crease across the top. Be willing to pay the price. Take the extra step to greatness.
Oh man, we made it. We almost made it. 8 hours without that.
I think it's the first time I've said it all summer.
I know. I was going to say you haven't. It's left the repertoire.
Well, you gotta put some of those lines in storage for a while.
I like it. Well, don't get rid of it. Just put it in the basement.
I will have some new ones ready for the 20th. That was one of my. I'm doing more reading lately, but I got to go back with my highlighter and pull some stuff out.
We'll be on waiting with bated breath as McAdory has a short stick. It's a good matchup, though. Marcelo Ortega.
There's no such thing as a good matchup.
Not really. Headed to Hopkins, but he can't keep McAdory in check. He can do whatever he wants at this point.
That's 5?
It is.
All from that right wing. He's pretty one-handed, but it doesn't matter. That's a bad matchup if you're the defense. Doubles late, turn and rake.
She turns him inside. You're right. Slide just needs to come a bit quicker.
Yeah, this kid McAdory is a party starter with his speed and quickness. He's willing to pass, and he's gritty and tough. He gets to grimy areas in space. He's got the burst.
So SweetLax needs to get to work quickly here. They have only scored back-to-back goals twice. McDermott and Hess in that third quarter cut the lead to 3. A flag is down.
Ooh, these guys are going at it.
Physical.
Going at it.
You got a slash. What is it? You guys don't even like one call against you because we don't ever get one. Maybe if you give me one, throw me a poke.
Little access there to some of the conversations with Joe Spallina and our officiating crew.
That's Scott Ruppel. Steve Ruppel. Excuse me, Steve Ruppel.
So this will go against Team 91, it appears. A second look here at maybe one of these penalties.
I don't see anything there.
Why do you hate us so much?
A little bit there late, but flag came much earlier. Nonetheless, it'll be SweetLax with a 6-on-5 here and an important opportunity. They're gonna have to score and score quick. It's a running clock, so we're already at the 8:30 mark here as they sort through all this. It ends up being a 1-minute penalty on Team 91.
All right, this time, everyone.
Dobson's been quiet in this game.
I was
Big
gonna
lefty
say.
up top. This is his best look. And it never makes the cage. Andrew Dalton, skip pass
Nice.
across, good look, and again off the pipe for SweetLax.
I like that play, Evan, because they sent a cutter down the middle, which kind of opened that passing lane.
Created the passing lane.
That far side low defender had to respect the cutter, and all of a sudden, whoop, off his shoulder.
I'd like to see the replay.
And looks like Tingay got a piece of this as well.
Tingay going start to finish today? Or was he relieved in the middle?
No, I haven't seen him step out, the UMBC commit. There is another goalie on the roster, Daniel Lapino.
Nice finish of the season for the Retrievers and head coach Ryan Moran. I think they use that as momentum for 2020.
Yes. Oh, good offense.
Good ball movement.
Brett, stay with
I think you'll see a bounce back year from the Albany Great Danes and Scott Marr. Stony Brook with new coach Anthony Gallardi. I love that hire. I love Coach Gallardi, watching him work that offense at Towson for the last 3 or 4 years. He's done masterful work.
Seems like a sleeping giant there at Stony Brook if you could keep some of that talent. Joe Spallina, Joey Spallina, Joe Spallina, the women's coach for the Stony Brook Seawolves. Another stop by Wagner. The ground ball for SweetLax as they try to get to work here with 6:30 to play in this fourth quarter, the final quarter of action of this Naptown National Challenge. It's been an all-day lacrosse extravaganza here. Some of the premier club programs across the country from states like Connecticut, national teams like this one, and a goal by Casey McDermott.
McDermott's got 2 goals and 1 assist. He's proven to be functional and productive in a lot of different ways. You'd spend all that time working on your shot, and this is a case where he could use it. He was just really not respected to the level that he thought his outside rip deserved, and he nails that from what, 12 or 13, you think?
Committed to Hopkins, yeah, I would say. Somewhere north of 12. He's had a couple goals in this game. Question is, do they have enough time and possessions to get back and really make a run at this game? It's been tough sledding to string goals together. This is a fantastic grounder for Team 91. That's 28 in white, Nicholas Kakamo, a Yale commit, and a goal the other way. So it quickly turns from joy to heartbreak for SweetLax as Christian Moulet picks up his third.
Kakamo gets a star for this play, 28 in white. You think about the good you can do your team. Ground balls, penalties drawn, goals, hockey assists, forced turnovers. For a defender to make a play like this, a strong grounder and the run out is the trigger to this goal.
Timeout on the field by SweetLax. A second look at this end-to-end action. Long pole's getting involved, but Moulet is there for the finish. All Team 91.
The unknown beyond the horizon. That was once our frontier. But today, a new frontier has risen. And this is the vehicle crafted to conquer it. Introducing the first of its kind Lexus UX and UX F-Sport. Also available in hybrid all-wheel drive. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
Morning, noon, or night, there's always a moment to discover. Visit Annapolis to create your moment.
Wrapping up this Naptown National Challenge, the lacrosse tournaments are getting bigger and better every year. This Naptown Challenge is an annual tournament, but it's not the only tournament run by Hogan Lax. Matt Hogan and his group run 8 tournaments every year in the Mid-Atlantic region. There are over 800 teams and 18,000 players. It's an operation that is coordinated by many. They also run the high school team training sessions down in Florida as a preseason warm-up for many northern high school teams. It's been a long week for the Hogan Lax crew, but they've run it really well. Weather on Monday leaded to a gorgeous day weather-wise here. Perfect summer heat, but not crazy humidity. No rain to speak of, and some quality lacrosse here on the field at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium. Wrapping up with this, the 2020 class, a championship game of mostly rising seniors and some of the top talent in the country. Team 91 with a 10-5 lead with under 5 minutes to play, taking on SweetLax. It's a national group, but mostly upstate New York and Florida players. McDermott looking for his third.
179 coaches signed in this week to watch this event. We televised the 4 oldest divisions, but there's 158 teams from across the country here this week.
McIntosh up top, and finally Dobson gets on the board. A lefty hammer, rocking the net. They got to play quick because it is a running clock here in Naptown.
You think about shooting, 3 things matter. Release point, velocity, and location. This is like looking at a left-handed Sergio Perkovic,
thinking the same thing,
or Brian Costabile. He's a very, what he's shown today is to be a perimeter outside shooter, good athlete.
Like more of a standstill shooter. He's gonna have to work on that speed to get to Perkovic level.
Hasn't really shown the ability to run by a guy yet, but you like to see that kind of range.
Arceri kicks it back. That's the beauty of having a great face-off man. There's a hold, so it'll head to SweetLax, and they are playing with some urgency here with 3:20 left in this fourth quarter. They got to go and go quick. This is Hess. He has a goal in this game. Plays it up top to McDermott. A shot and a bouncer. Way over the cage.
Stop it.
Has to put more time on the clock here.
Hold it 3:05 till restart.
This is McIntosh dodging from behind. It's great defense for Kokomo.
Yeah.
Trying to kick it up to Dobson.
Little ladder drill there, right? Around the net. You like that?
Really well done.
Was waiting for a ankle breaker, and he navigated.
It's a big body that moves well, committed to Yale. This is Parlett. This Team 91 defense settling in, knowing it's fallen on their shoulders to hold off this SweetLax.
How do you
group.
avoid, as a defender, not stepping on that triangle in the net back there? What do you do?
I mean, field awareness is huge, so you just have to be comfortable knowing it's there. And it almost becomes muscle memory that you just got to hop every time you're near it.
Take a peek?
Yeah, sure. But it's got to be a quick peek. And I would say that if you're pressing out and you're physical, you don't need to find yourself that close to it either. If you're passive, then yeah, that's the attackman's going to back you down into it.
If he's got the head start and he's beating you to the spot, you're going to have to cut it close, and then that's even higher in that.
Yeah, in theory, you shouldn't be dealing with the net unless you're playing catch-up. So under 2 minutes to play here. Clock will stop. McAdory, though, with it. No shot clock, so Team 91 can just play keep away.
Yeah, I want to say, let's see if SweetLax presses out. We'll get some action here. It's an opportunity to throw a takeaway check. Double team, empty net.
Wagner out of the cage. So they're trying to double. McAdory is unbelievable. He just bounces this one in with ease. He snuck through about 3 defenders. That size was an advantage at that point.
Wow,
size and speed.
Pretty fast, huh?
Unbelievable. This kid's great.
He is super quick and super fast. Man, just the ability to get by a guy and no one can keep up with him.
6th goal of the game. He looks a little gassed after that run. These teams played a semifinal game earlier today to get to this championship. Played a number of games yesterday. A lot of a rain out on Monday, so it was a race to the finish here at the Naptown National Challenge, and Team 91 Crush has brought it from start to finish. 20 seconds to play, and they're going to capture another title. Just add it to the list for this team that has been together for a number of years and has run through the club lacrosse circuit. They will just hold on to victory. That will do it. Team 91 Crush captures the 2020 championship game at the Naptown National Challenge. Behind Andrew McAdory's 6 goals.
Congratulations to all the 4 champions today. It was the Annapolis Hawks 2023, Team 91 2022, Eclipse and Jamie Hanford 2021, and then Team 91 again at the rising senior level. You know, make sure part of your summer is competing in events like this, but it's also doing the solitary training, whether it's the wall ball, the shooting, the one-on-ones. That's where you're going to make tremendous individual improvement. You combine that with the team aspect and the fun of an event like this Naptown Challenge, and you'll find yourself playing college lacrosse one day.
Team 91, your champion, the 2020 class. We'll wrap things up when we come back here from Annapolis. The 2019 Naptown National Challenge is brought to you by Lexus and the Lexus RX and RXL. With distinctive styling, refined craftsmanship, and innovative technology, experience amazing. Visit your Annapolis Lexus dealer. And by the Chesapeake Bayhawks. Night has fallen on Annapolis and the harbor, also the Naptown National Challenge, about to turn the lights out after the 2020 championship game. Team 91Crush captures it 11-6 over SweetLax National. It's been a long day of lacrosse, an impressive one. Andrew McAdory, 6 goals in this one, but also strong play in net by Jason Tingay as we take a look at our Atlantic Tractor save of the game.
Team 91 does a wonderful job defensively, typically switching from man to zone, but Tingay, the lefty, takes that one off the right elbow. Boom. It's a stinger. And there he is.
Well, committed to play his college ball up the road at UMBC. So a nice way to cap what's been an impressive summer for all these programs, an impressive day here at the Naptown National Challenge as we take a look back at what's been 4 championship games over the course
Jake Todd
of 5+ hours.
And the Hawks was it Casey Heath, their goalie. 2 standout performers in that game.
Second game had another Hawks team taking the field.
Too much Joey Spallina.
But this was the crush of Team 91 capturing that cup. And then it was the 2021 group, Advance of Northern California, taking on Eclipse from Connecticut. Physical matchup.
Paul Horton, defender from California.
That'll wrap up our 4 great games of lacrosse at the Naptown National Challenge. Once again, our final score in the final game, 11-6 Team 91 over SweetLax. For Quinn Kesnick, I'm Evan Washburn. Thanks for watching. Have a great night, everybody.